Welcome to Rick's Corner. The man, the myth, the legend. Now on with the show.
I have new topics all the time, as you know. If I don't have a guest, I'll do a topic on my own. There's so much to talk about in bodybuilding and weightlifting and nutrition, diet, and high protein, low carb, high fats. It's endless, and I get tons of emails. I must get at least 70, 80 emails a day questioning me about how did you train back in the day, what did you eat, what are you eating now. I have men who are 50, 60 years old who tell me they want to get back in shape, they don't know how to change their diet. But some of the emails I get, I had a guy email me, he says, I want to have a body like Arnold. I'm 5'9", I'm just starting to work out, how can I be like Arnold? Or I'll get one, how can I be like Frank Zane? Or how can I be like Dave Draper? How can I be like you? How can I be like this guy? My advice to someone like that is just be the best you can be. Now, those people are already taken. They already have their own style. They have their name. They have their body. You can't be them. It's like, how do I be Jake Gyllenhaal or John Cena? They're there. You need to be you and the best you. Now, what it boils down to is a lot of things. Number one, genetics. Genetics play an important part on your body. If you have the genetic type of body that can build and grow muscle and it comes easy, you're going to have a good body. There's no question about it. You could be an ectomorph or an endomorph, either heavy or thin, and you've got to train and diet accordingly to what you are. And it's just not always that easy. People who are heavy have a really hard time losing the body fat. They can't change their diet. They have a hard time doing it, and they get down and then they go up again. People who are skinny can eat anything in the world and they can't gain size. It's just a time factor. And then you have people who say, like I said, you want to be like somebody, and then they want to be 300 pounds of ripped muscle, and they are only like 140 pounds. You got to be reasonable. You got to figure out what you're capable of doing. You got to set your goals not high, but higher. So in other words, if you have a goal to do something, give yourself a month to achieve a certain thing. When you get to that month, and you've achieved it, then give yourself a new goal for the following month. If you put yourself into a goal to gain 70 pounds of muscle and you're going to do it right away, it's never going to happen. You have to do small steps. And I had Clarence Bass on yesterday. We were talking about changing your training around. I'm a firm believer in that. If you go into the gym, you do the same thing every day, and you eat the same food every day, your body is not going to change. It's going to be the same as it is all year long. I've seen people do that year after year after year after year. You need to change it up. You wouldn't wear the same shirt every day, or would you? Maybe some people do. But if you change let's just say you're doing biceps, and you're doing biceps every workout, barbell curls. After a while, your biceps are going to say, oh, it's the barbell curls again. Oh boy, how boring. Change it to dumbbell curls. Change it to preacher curls. Change it to cable curls. Change it all the time so your body never knows what to expect. This way, you can keep it interested in what you're doing, and you can get progress doing it. Joe Weider said years ago, and it was a standing joke. I don't think he really meant this way, but he said, get up at 2 o'clock in the morning and scare your muscles into growing by a heavy workout. Well, we know we're not going to do that at 2 in the morning, but what he is saying, shock your muscles. And this is how it works. Now, structure is another thing. Structure, what kind of body structure do you have? Yes, we talked about genetics, but what's your bone structure like? What's your height? What's your girth? Are you short and squatty? Are you tall and lean? Are you 6'2" or over? Are you 5'7" or under? Now, those things make a difference in your body. Franco Columbu was a very short guy. I think he was like 5'4", but he was thick, 215 pounds. He had the upper body of a full-size man. He had the thickness of a full-size man. Yes, shorter guys have a shorter range of motion. So if they're benching, they're right here. If they're squatting, it's right here. They don't have those long arms and long legs to contend with. So it's easier to pack on size. A 27 sleeve length compared to a 35, the arm's going to look a lot bigger. So you have to think about that too. So there we talk about structure. Arnold was 6'2". He had a big structure. He had I don't know if he's big bone, but he had a big structure and he had a small waist. He had wide shoulders. He was able to build upon that. Dave Draper, a big man, like 6'1", maybe about 6'1", 6'2", a big structure, big arms, and he trained hard, he trained heavy. This man was so strong, I can tell you stories that Dave used to build furniture out of the Ocean Park Pier, the big pilings to hold the pier together. Well, the pier was closed down, so he'd go home and take those pilings and bring them home. That's like bringing home a telephone pole. He got caught stealing it with it on his shoulder once walking home. This is how strong he was. He'd take those tables and he'd cut them down and he'd make, the pilings, and make wood tables out of it. He made a table with stools and a bench. It looked like the home of the three bears eating their porridge. This is a true story. He put it in Zabel Kazuski's house, and we moved it over to Ed Giuliano's house next door. There was 5 of us guys to lift those tables and chairs. When I asked Ed's wife, how did Dave get it in here? He drove it over in a pickup and loaded it by himself. This is how strong he was. So with him, the heavy weight built big muscle on him. It doesn't work for everybody like that. You can go heavy, and defeat yourself and overtrain and pull a muscle, and that's the end of it. So like I say, every structure is different. So you've got genetics and you've got structure. The rest is your training. How are you going to train? You're going to train each body part 3 times a week, twice a week, or once a week. That's another factor you have to figure out for yourself. I can't tell you. I know that back in the day with Steve Reeves, everybody trained 3 times a week. It was the whole body 3 times a week. Gyms were open for men Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so they took advantage 3 times a week. Women on Tuesdays and Thursdays. They were separated. So they would do basic exercises, 3 sets of 10 reps, and they built big bodies. They drank a lot of milk back then. I know that was, or cream is what I'm saying. It was a very rich, milky cream substance out of a carton because it had the fat and it had the protein. And they built big bodies on 3 times a week. I started on 3 times a week, made great gains. When I moved down to Venice, everybody was doing twice a week, and I thought twice a week doesn't seem like enough at all. How am I going to gain on twice a week? So I did. I trained with Bill Grant for a while, and we used to do 4 days a week, 2 body parts a week, and we'd split it up 4 days, like Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, and boy, did I make progress because I had those days off. Today, a lot of guys train each body part once a week. It's like a 9-day cycle. And I tried that, and it doesn't seem like it's good enough for me unless I'm not just training hard enough. But you can experiment and try that. So we have genetics, we have structure, and we have your training. The rest is diet. Now, high protein is a known fact. Protein is going to build muscle. Low carb is a known fact. You're going to reduce your body fat. Having fats in your body also increase your energy. Now, if you have fats and carbs together, they can also store fat. So you want to take one light one and one heavier one. So you want to do protein and you want to do fats. Egg yolks are good, avocado is good. There's plenty of ways to get good fat for energy, but if you're going to do that meal, drop your carbs down because you don't want the two together. If you're not going to do the fats, then increase your carbs and have your protein. Clarence Bass told me he ate well-rounded meals all the time. He was ripped. He said, I dropped the carbs once and I just felt horrible. I couldn't even function or think, and I was tired. I didn't gain. I introduced the carbs back into my diet, and I still got even better workouts and still stayed lean and got bigger. So it's not for everybody. You have to find what works to you. Now, you guys send me emails all the time. I got some today. Can you work out a training program? Can you work out a diet for me? I'd love to do it for you, but I just don't have the time. I'm doing this show. I'm doing other shows. I have a business, and I try to answer all the emails as best I can, but I can't answer everything in detail. It just takes way too much time. So go to my website. I have a book on there, Bodybuilding for Dumbbells. I have a steroid handbook. It's $10, not a big deal. Maybe it'll help you through what you got to do. And I'm not saying this to sell a book. You can go on my website and just read stuff for as far as that goes, or YouTube something, or buy Arnold's book. I don't know. Whatever works for you. But it is genetics. There is a structure involved. There is a diet involved, and there's a workout. There's not anything elaborate. Now, I was in the gym yesterday, and I had told one of the trainers, I'm looking at 3 guys, and not one of them is doing an exercise correctly. One guy, I don't know what he was doing. He was on the floor, off the floor with light weights, bad movements, didn't know where. He was all over the gym running around like a chicken with his head cut off. The other guy was doing tricep extensions with the handle, and he was just throwing it down like this and throwing it down, not just looking around, throwing it down. And I'm thinking, what are you doing? You're not even working a muscle. And there was another guy doing laterals. You come up with laterals, you're supposed to point your thumb down as you come up. This guy was coming up this way, which I don't know what that does except pull your shoulder out of joint. So take a look at your exercises, take a look at your form. Form is so important. It's not the weight, it's the form. You have to take that muscle and work each rep coming and going. You got to feel it as you're working it, feel it as it's going down. You isolate that, you'll be so pumped it's ridiculous. So just take those things into consideration. That will help you with your workout. I come on here to give you guys free advice to help you because I know you're trying to gain. I've been there, I've done that, I got nothing to prove. I made my name, now I'm older, I'm trying to stay in shape and do the best I can and pass my knowledge on to you, the younger generation, and you older guys who want to do what I do. So I've been sitting around thinking about this and I thought, you know, I'm going to put together a quick show and talk about it. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you use it, and let me know how you're doing. Also, go to my website, rickdrasinoriginals.com. I have the original, the one, the only original Gold's Gym t-shirt with my signature. You won't find this anywhere else but my website. And then I have the Golden Era Bodybuilding and some other shirts as well. You can order. They ship in 2 days. They're not expensive. And that's about it. So stay tuned for more Rick's Corners. Anytime I get a brain flash where I want to share with you, I will come on, I will relay this message, and there you can take it to yourself and make better progress for you. And remember, be you. Everybody likes you for you. Be the best you can be, because you can do it. You know, you've got a lot of stuff inside. You got a good heart, you got a good brain, you're a nice looking person, and you want a good body like this guy, get a good body like you, because you can develop that. And I'll see you next time on Rick's Corner. Hey everyone, now you can have the Gold's Gym logo drawn by me, the artist Rick Drasin, personalized and made out to you and signed by me to frame and put on your gym wall or wherever you see fit to do so. It's a piece of bodybuilding history. It will never be duplicated again. It's the largest selling icon t-shirt logo in the world, and I'm the guy that drew it, and I will draw it for you. Just go to my website, rickdrasin.com, and order there. You can pay through PayPal and it'll be sent out right away. And be sure to watch Rick's Corner for all the videos on bodybuilding, nutrition, fitness, pro wrestling, and anything that suits your interest as far as getting physically fit and being the best you can be from the golden era of bodybuilding.
He's the equalizer, baby. See you next time.